Diwali cracker chocolates are all about the molds and the packaging. So you get molds like this. Now every design has two sizes. One is the bigger one and the smaller one. So as you can see, this is the bigger one, and the same design also has a small one. These molds are now very easily available in all the stores, and also Amazon is keeping it. So you find these molds on Amazon also. Only thing is that it will be a little costly if you buy online. Prices are much cheaper if you buy from the store. Now I have cleaned the mold and I have wiped with a cotton cloth, but still there can be some moisture in them. So I will be using a hair dryer. I will dry these once again with a hair dryer to ensure that these are 100% dry. After using the hair dryer, I'm going to clean them once again. So this is called polishing of the mold, and for this I would like to use a Hoshiari cloth. So this is very soft. You can use anything that is soft, and I'll be cleaning the molds this way, each and every one. So this way I will clean all the cavities. Now as far as flavors are concerned, we have to decide the flavor based on the size and the shape of the cavity. Right? As you can see, this one is a very thin one and this is a very deep one. So depending on the depth and shape of the cavity, you can decide the flavors. Now let us start with this design. So in this mold, the cavities are very thin. So as you can see, this is the smaller size of the two sizes, and also there is not much depth. तो इसमें ज़्यादा depth नहीं है. So we have to think what flavors we can do in this. In this you can do plain varieties, just plain dark, white or milk, or colored and flavored compounds you can use. Or else you can do flavors like coffee, or you can add essence and color to white compound and create different flavors. Also maximum you can use crispy in this. तो इसमें आप कॉफ़ी कर सकते हो, इसमें आप एसेंस और कलर डाल के वाइट कंपाउंड में वेरियस फ्लेवर्स कर सकते हो. मैक्सिमम इसमें आप क्रिस्पी कर सकते हो, जो क्रैकल चॉकलेट है. सो यूजिंग दिस राइस क्रिस्पी यू कैन मेक क्रिस्पी इन दिस मोल्ड. I will be doing coffee. तो मैं इसमें coffee flavor करूँगी. For the coffee flavor, I have taken equal quantity dark and milk. Now you can use any flavor. You can do this entirely with dark, or entirely with milk, or entirely with white, whatever you prefer. So the price that I will be mentioning will be based on the fact that I've taken equal quantity dark and milk. So if you do only with dark, price will be less. So first let me melt the chocolate. There are a little bit of lumps, so I'm trying to break the lumps. There is enough heat in the bowl, so the lumps will melt in that heat. You should not heat anymore. In fact, if you just leave it on the table for 5 minutes, the lumps will melt. Otherwise, you can just break the lumps with the help of the spoon. So this is now fully melted. Okay. For coffee flavor, I'll be using this instant coffee powder. The quantity will depend on how strong you want it. So accordingly you can take, and you must strain it. So we need to strain the coffee powder. Say for every 100 grams of chocolate, you can take approx 1 teaspoon. So if you want it stronger, you can take more. But 1 teaspoon is like minimum, otherwise you will not get good flavor. So you can take 1 to 2 teaspoon of instant coffee powder for every 100 grams of chocolate. And then you just have to mix it. Okay, so if there is no excess, then you don't need to scrap. So now this will set in the fridge. So these cavities are very small and thin. They won't take too much time. You can keep it in the freezer for about 8 minutes and in the normal fridge for about 10 minutes. That is 10 to 12 minutes in normal fridge, that is the chiller, and approx 8 minutes in the freezer. So these should come out like this. Keep shifting to another plate. If they don't come out easily, just give a slight twist. They should come out. Give a twist like this. Okay. Okay. This mold has relatively deeper cavities. तो इसमें जो cavities है थोड़ा deep है. In that case, you can do a filling chocolate in this. तो इसमें आप center fill chocolate कर सकते हो, right? So you can do a ganache filling. You can do caramel filling. You can do fruit filling with fruit compote. And in ganache filling, you can either do just normal dark chocolate ganache, or you can use white chocolate ganache and create different flavors by adding essence and color. If you're adding essence and color in ganache, it does not have to be oil based, it can also be water based. तो आप वाइट चॉकलेट गनाश में अगर एसेंस और कलर ऐड कर रहे हो तो वो वाटर बेस्ड भी हो सकता है, ऑयल बेस्ड भी हो सकता है. आप चॉकलेट के साथ कुछ भी ऐड कर रहे हो देन इट मस्ट बी ऑयल बेस्ड. Now I'm going to use a combination of 2 parts dark, that is dark compound, and 1 part milk compound. Now you can do just with dark compound, so price will be less in that case. But this is the mix I would like to use for the candies. So I'm taking 2 parts dark, 1 part milk. Now it is entirely up to you. You can take entirely dark or entirely milk, or you can even change the ratio, so you can take 1 part dark, 1 part milk. So you have to remember one thing, that dark compound is the cheapest, after that comes milk, and white is the costliest of the three. So whenever you're changing the ratio, whenever you're changing the chocolate, the price will change. तो आप कौन सा चॉकलेट यूज़ कर रहे हो उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करेगा प्राइस. सो कौन सा चॉकलेट यूज़ कर रहे हो या आप रेशियो में भी यूज़ कर रहे हो, सो प्राइस विल डिपेंड ऑन दैट. डार्क कंपाउंड सबसे सस्ता है, डार्क इज द चीपेस्ट. नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू मेल्ट दीज टू सेपरेटली. यू कैन take them together and melt together, but sometimes milk compounds have lumps, so we have to stir more to remove the lumps. That is why I am going to heat them separately. ठीक है, तो इसमें कभी कभी लम्स रह जाता है मिल्क कंपाउंड में, इसलिए मैं सेपरेटली इसको मेल्ट करूँगी so that I am able to remove the lumps. Otherwise you can even take the two together and heat together and melt them together. Okay. As you can see, the milk compound has some lumps, so I'm trying to break the lumps. So this should be fine. Now I'm adding this to the dark. So this is my blend. So you can create your own blend if you want to blend, that is. Otherwise you can just use just dark milk or white as it is. तो आप as it is भी use कर सकते हो, dark milk white, और else आप ऐसे blend भी कर सकते हो. तो आप खुद blend करके आप खुद taste करो. So whatever you like, you can go for that ratio. So this is ready. So I'm going to make center filled candies in this. That is why first I will make the shell. तो सबसे पहले shell बना लेते हैं. So I will wait for a minute or two and I will then demold. You can just scrape the excess. Just leave it for a minute or two. Again, it will depend on the room temperature. If you're working in non-AC, you can wait a little longer. If you are working in non-AC, I would suggest you do a double coating. अगर आप नॉन एसी में काम कर रहे हो तो आप थोड़ी देर रख के डिमोल्ड करके फ्रीज कर लो. सो यू जस्ट wait for a minute or two, you demold and you freeze it, and you repeat the process one more time. So you do a double coating. Those who will be working in AC or in cooler environment, you can just wait for about 2-3 minutes, so you will get a thick coating. So it is okay to just do single coating. तो अगर आप थोड़ा सा ठंडा environment में काम कर रहे हो तो आप 2-3 मिनट रुक जाओ, उसी से एक मोटा कोटिंग बन जाएगा. तो आपको like 2 times करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. So if you get a good shell, a thick shell in your first coating only, then you don't need to repeat the process. So it will just save time and effort. So it's been over 2 minutes. I am demolding. So what you can do is you can take an OHP sheet and just keep it this way. So all the excess chocolate will come out. Later you can take out the chocolate from the OHP sheet and reuse it. I'm tapping so that the chocolate spreads evenly. So this is going in the fridge to set for a minute or two, or else if you have high AC in the room, then you can set it outside only. अगर रूम में AC है तो ये बाहर ही सेट हो जाएगा, अदरवाइज आप 2 मिनट के लिए फ्रिज में रख सकते हो. ओके, सो ये सेट हो गया है. दिस इज सेट नाउ. First I'll be using dark chocolate ganache as the filling. So instead of dark chocolate ganache, you can even use Nutella. Obviously Nutella will be much more expensive, but I'm just sharing the options, what all you can use as filling, right? So in filling, dark chocolate ganache is the cheapest. So is your caramel sauce. So caramel sauce and dark chocolate ganache, these are like the cheapest option for center filling. So I've taken the ganache in a piping bag. Now to this you may also add nuts if you like. So if you're going to make a Nutella filling, you can even add hazelnut. So I'm cutting the hazelnut into half. It's just to give you an idea. So this way you can You can even add an almond. So I've made it into half. One full will not go in so easily. You can, if you have a small almond, you can even add one full almond. So I'm just giving you ideas. Here I've taken some white chocolate ganache. So the ratio is 2 parts chocolate and 1 part cream. That is 2 parts white compound and 1 part fresh cream. So with this white chocolate ganache, you can create n number of flavors. Now I'm using a strawberry emulsion. So in ganache, you can use this emulsion, not a problem. You cannot use this directly in the chocolate. तो ये आप गनाश में यूज कर सकते हो लेकिन चॉकलेट में नहीं. You can even go for this color mist aroma. Okay. So this has given me both the flavor and the color. I don't need to add anything separately. If you want to add little bit of crush in this, so this is strawberry flavor, you can create any other flavor like orange, mango, pineapple, etc., blueberry. So for that, if you wish to add crush in this, then increase the amount of chocolate. As I said, I have taken 2 parts chocolate, 1 part cream. So if you want to add crush in this, it will become more liquid. That is why you can go for 3 parts chocolate and 1 part cream. Okay. And then you can add some crush. Now I'm showing you all the flavors in this single mold, but obviously when you make a single variety in one batch. So this is the strawberry ganache. Now one thing you can add to this. So here I have some dry strawberries, okay, and I have chopped them and I'm adding them. Okay. Now I'll be making another filling with cream cheese. So with cream cheese, you can use either buttercream or white chocolate ganache. So today I'll be using buttercream. Those who know how to make buttercream, and if you wish to use buttercream, you can use buttercream. Otherwise, you can mix cream cheese with white chocolate ganache. So here I've taken some buttercream and try to take room temperature soft cream cheese. So this is cream cheese. So use soft cream cheese. It will mix well. To this I will be adding vanilla essence. I'm adding few drops of vanilla essence. So that's it. You just need to mix the two. So as I said, I have mixed with buttercream. You can even mix with ganache, white chocolate ganache. Okay. Now Biscoff is a very trending flavor, so you can use Biscoff directly as a filling. But Biscoff is very expensive, so accordingly you need to price your chocolate. So room temperature Biscoff you can take in a piping bag. This is just out of the fridge, so I'm just putting it as it is. You can take room temperature Biscoff in a piping bag and then pipe out if you like. Okay. Here I'm adding some caramel sauce. You can even use a piping bag. So I just need to tap it once. You can use a piping bag to fill if you find that method easy. So this will go in the fridge now to set. Now these cavities are deep and it is like we have done center filled in them. So in the freezer it will take 10 to 12 minutes, and in the chiller, that is normal section, it will take like 15 to 20 minutes. Next I'll be using this mold. So in this you can do plain chocolate, or you can do crispy coffee, or you can even do fruit and nuts. So I will be doing fruit and nuts in this. So I'm using the same mix here, 2 parts dark and 1 part milk. You can use any fruit and nuts in this. Only thing is that the nuts should be roasted. I'll be using some cashew and raisin. Maybe just 1 cashew and 1 raisin will fit in this. So just 1 cashew, and 1 in the sense half cashew and 1 raisin. Okay, so this is going in the fridge to set. In the freezer it should take about 10 minutes, and in the chiller 12 to 14 minutes. Now this is also a very thin mold, so you can do plain chocolate or you can do coffee crispy. So I will be doing crispy in this. So for that I have melted the chocolate. I'm using the same combination, 2 parts dark, 1 part milk. You can even do with either dark or milk or white. So here I will be using this Rice Krispie or crisp rice. Now it should be crunchy, so make sure it's crunchy, otherwise you can roast it. So I'm going to add this directly to the chocolate. You can even use a piping bag. I'm using it straight away with the spoon. Tap well. You need to tap well because whenever you're adding something dry, okay, it creates air bubbles. Now I'm going to scrape it. Okay, so this will now set in the fridge. Now please note, I may carry the mold on the chopping board, but when I take it to the fridge I will be only keeping the mold. So I will be keeping the mold directly on the shelf of the fridge. तो ये आपको directly fridge के shelf के ऊपर रखना है, so that the bottom of the mold gets the maximum chill. Only then it will set properly. So you should not keep it on top of anything. ये किसी के ऊपर नहीं रखना है, आपको directly fridge के shelf के ऊपर रखना है. Okay. So just for ease of carrying, I'm carrying it on the board. Okay. So again, when this will slightly, come towards room temperature, I will neaten the edges with a knife and then I will stick the two. So these we have to stick. You have to stick these two to make a single piece. So that I will do once this comes to room temperature. Room temperature में आने के बाद यहाँ पे चॉकलेट लगा के दोनों को ऐसे जोड़ेंगे और थोड़ा सा फिनिशिंग भी करेंगे with the help of a knife. Next I'll be making chocolates in this mold. Now it is quite a deep mold, but it's a little tricky to demold from this mold. That is why it is better not to go for center filled. So don't go for center filled. Go for any dry variety like coffee or plain or crispy. You can even go for fruit and nuts, but don't go for center filled. Now I will be showing you honey almond in this, but I would suggest you go for flavors like crispy and coffee. Okay, that will be easiest to demold. But I wanted to show you almond honey, and I'm showing that in this mold. As I said, we will not do any soft core in this mold. I will be doing honey almond, which basically falls in the dry category only, but still I would like to create a shell and then do it. So I'll be creating a shell. So I'll leave it for 2 to 3 minutes and then I will demold. So I will be demolding this. So this is fine because I will not be doing any center filled in this in that way. I will not be filling with anything soft. So I don't need to take out everything, all the excess chocolate. तो मैं इसमें कोई सॉफ्ट फिलिंग नहीं डाल रही हूँ, इसलिए इसको उल्टा करके पूरा एक्सेस निकालने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. I don't need to take out the entire excess. This is fine. Only one thing, you will see there are some gaps over here. The chocolate has not reached till the end. So for that, what you do is take a toothpick and then just do this so that the chocolate reaches till the end. Okay. So I'll just set this in the fridge and then I will do the filling. So here I've taken some honey. Okay. And to that I'm adding roasted almonds. This has set. Now I will be adding the almonds. Just take the almonds. Use a fork. Now I'm just giving just 2 drops of honey in this. So I'm adding just 2 drops of honey, not too much, just 2 drops. That's it. So this is going in the fridge to set. This mold is just like a bar, so you can do any dry variety in this. So here I've taken melted white compound and I'm going to create a rasmalai flavor. So I'm making a rasmalai bar. So for that you need to use oil based essence because we are adding directly to the chocolate. चॉकलेट के साथ जब डायरेक्टली ऐड कर रहे हैं तो एसेंस ऑयल बेस्ड होना चाहिए. दिस इज ऑयल बेस्ड रसमलाई एसेंस फ्रॉम फैब. दिस यू कैन ऐड डायरेक्टली to the chocolate. And I will be adding some color. So you can use oil based candy color. I'll be using this powder color. So I've taken a little bit of oil here. This is vegetable oil. I've taken sunflower oil. And I'm going to add the color here, just a little bit. Just need light yellow color. Mix the powder well into the oil. तो ऑयल के साथ ये पाउडर कलर अच्छा से मिक्स करना है. And then you can just add it to the chocolate. So I would like to take the chocolate in this. Mix it well and then take it back. To this I will be adding cardamom powder. So adding a little bit of cardamom powder. Because this is dry, you can directly add to the chocolate, no issues. So I'll take this in the mold. You can even add some pista powder. So you can roast the pista and make powder, and that also you can add in this. Just I need to tap this. So here I have chopped almond and pista. So that I'll add directly. These are all roasted. Now if you wish, you may add rose petals, but dried rose petals, but rose petals are more about, you know, decoration and looks. When you have them, it doesn't feel really good in the mouth, so I'm skipping it because this will be wrapped. So to this I'm adding some roasted nuts and fruits. Slightly push them inside. Okay, so this will now go in the fridge to set. Okay. So they have all come out neatly. I will do the finishing with the knife later. So after some time I will just clean the edge like this. Now it is very hard because it's very cold. So just after few minutes I will run the knife all along the edge and it will become smooth. This mold is actually a bigger version of this, but I will be doing both because it's good to give at least one of these in the boxes. This too you have to do a dry variety, so you can do fruit and nuts, crispy. I will just be doing 3 of these. Okay, now as I said, you can do fruit and nuts in this, so you can just add the fruit and nuts. I would like to do something little more interesting. Here I have some ice cream jelly. This is how they look. I have these small marshmallows. Now these are non-veg, so vegetarians must check the pack and then take. Veg marshmallows are also available in the market. I'm adding some gems. So these are gems. Adding gems, right? तो जितना comfortably fit हो उतना ही देना है. So add only till you can comfortably fit them. Okay, I think that's it. And I would like to use the piping bag to fill the remaining. I think this should be okay. I will do the finishing later. Otherwise everything will come out, right? So you can just gently push these inside. And leave it as it is. Just leave it as it is. So this is going in the fridge. Now this is the smaller version of the bar that we did. So I will also be making in this. And the flavor that I have chosen for this is chili chocolate. So first I will create the flavor. Here I have taken white compound I've melted the compound. To this, I will be directly adding some chili powder. I am making the dry variety, so I will be directly adding the chili powder and the chaat masala. Now, if you want to do a soft core, but of course not in this mold. If you want to do soft core, you have to create a shell, and in that case you have to choose a mold with deep cavities. आपको center filled करना है तो आपको deep cavity वाला mold ही choose करना है. उसमें आप गनाश बना सकते हो. So you can make white chocolate ganache, and to that you can add the chili powder and the chaat masala. So that will be a chili truffle, and that you can use as a soft core. So adding the chili powder. Now here again it depends on how hot you want. And also I'm going to add the chaat masala. So I'm adding chaat masala. So this is dry variety of the chili chocolate. This you can add directly to the mold. तो ये आपको directly mold में add करना है. If you wish, you can add red color directly to this. But I will be doing some beautification. I'll be creating red color using the chalk shine and this powder color. So first I'll melt the chalk shine. I already have a little bit here, so I'll be making some more. Let me melt this. Chalk shine is just the name of this product that the supplier has given. This is basically vegetable fat. To this I'm adding the red powder color. And I will be painting the surface of the mold. So I'm just showing you the technique here. This is just a technique that I'm showing you. So that's it. You can just keep it like this, but I'll mix the rest in the chocolate itself. Okay, so this will go in the fridge to set. So these are the two bars, rasmalai and just normal. So these are the bars. So these also I will do the finishing little later once they come to room temperature. The chillness should be a little less, then I can do the finishing. So this is how they have come. The most important part of packaging Diwali cracker chocolates is the sticker. Now you can buy stickers from the store, or you can create your own sticker. So you can design your own stickers and get a printout. This design is made by Yum Bites Food Art, and I have shared this design with all of you. So all you have to do is just get a sticker printout from any digital printer, and then you have to cut these and stick them on the chocolate after wrapping them with some chocolate wrapper. So this is a foil based chocolate wrapper. So depending on the size of the chocolate, you need to cut the size of the wrapper. So I have cut this out from a big sheet. तो एक बड़ा sheet से मैंने ये काट लिया है. And this is how I'm going to wrap this. Now you cannot spend too much time in wrapping your chocolates. So we have to be fast. All you have to see is that the back side is plain. It's not heaped. पीछे ऐसे level होना चाहिए. That's it. And then just press the sides so that the design is visible. Just slightly press on the top with your thumb so that whatever is the shape, the impression, so that should be visible from outside. Now I'm going to cut out this sticker. So now I'm going to peel out the sticker. You will need nails for this. So I've peeled this out and just going to place it in the center. Okay, so this is how it will be. So I've completed the packaging of all the chocolates, and you can see this looks so original after the packaging. So I will be sticking the two parts of this. Before that, I would like to do the finishing. So taking a pointed knife, ऐसे pointed होना चाहिए. Just run the knife along the edges to smoothen out the imperfections. So as I said, you need to wait till this comes to almost like room temperature. And then here I've taken melted chocolate. So if this is just out of the fridge, the chocolate will just set immediately. Okay. Before packaging, you can keep them in the fridge for a minute or two, or else if you're working in high AC, then not required. This paper comes with the OHP sheet. So I will put this in the fridge for a minute or two. So these two, I need to stick two parts to make one candy. So first I'm going to do the finishing. So this way I will be doing the finishing of all the pieces. Okay. So this way I will do the finishing of all. So I have done the finishing of these as well as these. Now these I have to stick. So applying melted chocolate. Now this gap is not a big problem because we'll be doing the wrapping. But if you like, you can just run a brush like this. Okay. This is optional. Once you do the packaging, it won't look, it will not be visible. Now I'll be sticking the sticks. So this will be like the front kind of. So you need to place it upside down like this. So either of these two sides will be the front. So you need to place it this way and then fold. This will be the size of the wrapper because this is like 1/6. So if you cut the paper into 6 pieces, this is one of them. So you also need to economize the wrappers. ठीक है, तो wrappers भी आपको सही से use करना है without any wastage. So this will be the size of the wrapper. So you just need to manage tactfully to wrap these. Okay, so you can see this impression here. So this will be the front. So I will be using these strips. Okay, now these strings you can buy from the shop. It is easily available, but I could not arrange, so I have made at home. ये मैंने घर में बनाया है. आप you can just buy ready-made from the shop. So to make it look more authentic, I'll be placing this here and the sticker will go here. Okay, so this is how it will be. Now since I've colored these red, I'm going to wrap them with cling wrap. So I've done the wrapping now. So from this design, I'll take out a square. This I will place here. So I'll place a string here. I don't need big one, so I'll just cut it into half. Okay, so this is how I have wrapped these. Now these I will be wrapping with red. Okay, now just bring out the shape and the impression. And I'll be using this sticker for this. Okay. Right. I'll make it slightly smaller. Okay, so this is how I've done the packaging. Okay. And just place it here. So whatever way you like, you can do the packaging. These I will just be keeping like this. So these are done.